Okay, let's talk about Isaiah Buggs. Remember, we picked him up after there was one guy that retired this past offseason. So we pick up this Isaiah Buggs guy. He's from the Steelers. He's got a funny name. You're like, he's big. Cool. Ends up playing outstanding for us. And the best part was, I mean, he made he made under $1 million last season as we picked him up off the waiver wire, I think. So what will it take to re-sign him? Well, he loves it here. He's doing great. He's one of those players that came out and said, I'd love to come back. So this is from SI's Fan Nation here for the Detroit Lions updates. If I were Holmes, I'd offer him a 2-year contract worth $2 million a season. Oh, yeah, absolutely I would, because and he says it here, I think Bugs might not agree right away, might hold out for a better offer from Detroit or another organization, but ultimately I think for $2 million a season, 2 more years, he's 26 years old. He's an interior lineman that played outstanding, and you can look at against the Packers was where he just played so well. He made so many individual plays from the interior D line that we just haven't had in a long time. So remember, he had 7 combined tackles in that game. I actually rewatched that game last night, and because I have no life, and he played so well and had a couple huge plays and stops there. Remember against the Vikings were coming down. They tried to do a little pop pass, running back pass. He blew that up. He's a great player. So if we can get him for $2 million a season, and he's not our primary, ultimately want to upgrade that interior lineman. Ultimately, we'd love to have Levi come back. Ultimately, we'd love to have Aleem and Levi and add another guy, even a free agent, draft a guy. But if Bugs is just part of that rotation, oh man, that would be absolutely outstanding. So Bugs is an animal, and he's like, there's no doubt we should re-sign him. I really like him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hey, Bugs, no, we can go without him. Let's draft Breeze. Let's draft another interior lineman. Let's go get somebody in free agency. Or are you like, no, this guy for real, bring him back. He's part of the culture. And have you seen him on the mic'd up stuff? Man, he's a leader. We talked about it at nauseum, the culture thing, but we talk about it because it's so real for the first time in our Detroit Lions fans history, where we actually have a culture that we're building. And so you have some of these core pieces that are Isaiah Buggs, Jamal Williams, vocal leaders, guys that chip on their shoulder. And look, everybody's got a little chip on their shoulder in the league, but there's some certain guys that have an extra special, I want to make it here. And he is one of those guys. And I saw in the comments somebody said, we've got like PTSD from being Lions fans where finally something's going right. We just want to keep our own players and don't want to do anything. I get that. And he might be one of those guys where it's like, oh, Bugs, but because he's not outstanding, but he fits. I'm more thinking of him in a rotational piece that it makes complete sense that he would be here. There's no reason not to. So here's what Aaron Glenn said. I'll tell you what, this guy's a guy's guy. We've been talking about for a while. When it came to the forced fumbling against Minnesota, he doesn't get all the praise that he should, but for him to be able to make that play on that stage at that time in the red zone was outstanding for him. So we know how valuable that player is for us. He's found a home. We're happy with him. I know for a fact that he's happy being here. So we just want to continue to get better and that player and continue to understand exactly what we're doing. And there's a lot more improvement that can happen with that player. So I'm really excited about that player. I don't know why he doesn't just say his name, but we can get him at an affordable price. He's 26 years old. What if he's only getting better? What if he's only getting things going? He could be a rotational piece as we add more. Ideally, he's not your starting D tackle that you count on each game, but we can get him at an affordable price. I love that we can get him at an affordable price. I didn't know what we were looking at. Man, $2 million a season, all day, every day. Let's do that. I love Isaiah Buggs. I want him to return. You let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this a guy that you want back? Or, hey, don't get too attached to these, these players that played for us. He's not great. We can find other pieces. We need to upgrade that that interior defensive line. I know we need to, but I also know that there's nothing wrong with him, and I would love to have him on the team, vocal leader for $2 million a year, be a backup, be a, you can't just let big guys walk out of the building. You can find different pieces out there, but and actually we found him, so maybe I'm saying this wrong, but you can't just replace and go, you know what, we'll just go find somebody else that's 320 pounds that fits our culture, that only needs 2 million a year. That's just not gonna be easy to do. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one. The dog says hey.